From the Toast Studios in fabulous Las Vegas, it's the Hospitality Hangout featuring the restaurant guy and the finance guy. We've got an incredible podcast coming to you from RFDC live in Las Vegas. But before we get to it, Jimmy, I have an important message. Important announcement.
Really?
If you will. Yes.
All right, let's do the announcement.
If there's one constant in the restaurant industry, it's change. Whether you're growing a brand trying to build cutting-edge experiences for your guests or a national leader looking to update your tech stack, Toast brings together the proven technology, expertise, and innovations you need to drive change and spark growth. That's right. Toast does all of that. From front of house to back house, corporate teams and franchisees at enterprise brands like Papa Gino's, Waba Grill, Velvet Taco, and many, many others trust Toast to help them stay ahead of the curve and thrive in a changing world. To learn more, go to toasttab.com/enterprise. That's toasttab.com/enterprise. Jimbo, I love Toast. You love Toast. All of our restaurants love Toast. Let's kick us off, and we'll talk more about it.
Right. But by the way, before we just jump in, are we not going to talk about the fact that Mr. Change Agent here, Mr. Shatsy, Mr. Change, did you or did you not, sir, once say you would never change your POS?
I said I would never change my POS. And, Jimmy, you know what they say? Never.
Say never.
Say never. You never say never.
You never say never. And you know what? We changed.
We did.
And welcome to Toast.
Yeah,
good change.
Toast.
All right. Good change. Listen, I want to more formally welcome you all to a very special edition of the Hospitality Hangout, a hospitality-focused podcast where the founders at Branded share their insights and bring technology and innovation leaders that are making things happen in the industry we love. My name is Jimmy Frischling, otherwise known as the Finance Guy, and I'll reintroduce my partner, Mr. Michael Schatzberg, also known as the Restaurant Guy.
And thanks for that kind introduction, Jimmy. And to all those listening, feel free to call me Shatsy. And together, we're the personalities behind Branded Hospitality Ventures. We work at the intersection of hospitality, technology, innovation, capital, and, of course, Custard.
Custard?
We love Custard.
You do love Custard.
And today we are coming to you live from the Toast Studios at the Restaurant Finance and Development Conference, also known as RFDC, at the beautiful, gorgeous Bellagio Hotel. Jimmy, one more thing I got to talk to you about.
One more thing?
Yeah. Do you know the number one goal from Toast is to get the message that they aren't just for independent restaurants? They're not.
They're not?
No. Jimmy, Toast that's an enterprise solution too.
Look at that.
Yeah. Toast, if you have a lot of restaurants, Toast, check out Toast.
We might even have a guest with a lot of restaurants.
Yeah, a lot of people. I'm telling you. Well, that's why why do you think we've got the guest here? We're pitching it, but you know what I mean? But I got to tell you, I did say I would never change to Toast. I said that. And I got to tell you, and we changed. You know what, Jimmy? I got to tell you, we're loving Toast. They just came out with Toast Mobile. I get to see all my sales, everything happening, all 15 restaurants on my phone. Real-time sales. There's Toast Pay. There's Toast Tables. I mean, they're doing so many cool things. I'm just loving it. I'm loving Toast. I'm loving the restaurants are loving it. Integrates with every conceivable technology it works with. So we're super excited. Let's jump into it, Jim. We've got a big podcast.
Yes. We were about to, our new friend and guest, Mr. Chris Dole.
Thinks we work for Toast.
He's like, yeah, thinks we work for Toast. Well, actually, today we kind of do. Listen, we want to bring in our friend, Mr. Chris Dole, president and CEO of Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steakburgers. This is awesome. Schatz, you want to share a few factoids about our friend Chris?
I do.
And then we'll bring him into the podcast because he's like, do I ever get to talk, or these guys, it's all about them?
No, we're going to. I have some really great information that I think our guests are really going to love about Chris because he's an interesting cat. Let's go back. We're going back with Chris Dole, president and CEO of Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steakburgers, 1995. We're at Baylor University. Baylor, Jimmy. We love Baylor. It's 1995. Chris plays football. Baylor's got a great football team. But as he's playing football, and just starting quarterback, did I tell you this? Or lineman?
Linebacker.
Starting linebacker.
By the way,
D1. The defense.
Yeah,
D1.
Quarterback of the linebacker. A quarterback of the defense, the linebacker.
Yeah, he's a linebacker.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, not D1.
D1,
okay? But he's playing, and he's loving it. He's loving playing. But he says to himself, you know what? Football's not for me. You know what's for me?
What's for him?
Restaurants.
Naturally.
And I love Custard, he says. And he tells his parents, Mom, Dad, I'm not going to be a professional football player. His dad was upset. Mom, not upset because he'd get hurt. She was very happy. And he went into Marble Slab Creamery for 10 years. He loved it. Never looked back at football. Never looked back. IFA, the International Franchise Association, global franchise group for 9 years. Bean and Brew's Coffee House, doing great things. Don't know it, but I heard great things.
The Bean and the Brew.
Bean and the Brew. And at Freddy's for 3 years, he grew the store count from like Freddy's when he got there, 3 stores, now like 10,000 stores. No one, not even Dave's Hot Chicken grows that fast.
Please leave the numbers to me, please.
There we go.
Well, anyway.
But I like it.
I think I got it right.
It's close.
It's marketing embellishment.
Now tell us about yourself. Take over. 1995.
I like your story better than mine. Actually. It's a lot more exciting. But yeah, played some football, didn't work out, and so I did decide to go into the business of scooping ice cream at Marble Slab Creamery. Family was entrepreneurial. Dad had a barbecue restaurant, so it was in my blood as a youngster, and loved the idea of getting involved in the franchise business and also learning a little bit more about restaurant ops. And so I joined Marble Slab, and 11 years later was the executive vice president of the company and sold it to a publicly traded company. And under that group, we built what became Global Franchise Group, which operated 6 different brands and a manufacturing facility and a bunch of corporate restaurants, and then sold that a couple times.
A couple times?
And on the second time, that was enough of that. And so I stepped aside and then found my way working for some private equity firms on the diligence side of deals, and met a group that was looking at Freddy's. And they asked me as we got close to closing if I'd like to run it. And I said, absolutely. And it's been amazing. Didn't grow it from 3 to 10,000, but we have.
But I was close.
You're close. We was about 360 to 520. But
okay.
But, you know,
I had a 3.
Yeah, you had a 3 handle on it.
3 in there.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
So I appreciate you helping Shazzy shape the numbers. I want to kick things off, and my producer's clearly feeling some love for me or less than love for Shazzy, because usually Shazzy gets the breaking news.
Okay.
But today I'm getting the breaking news. I feel very lucky. I understand that just this week, Freddy's has opened, and if we have the number wrong, you'll correct us, but just this week opened its 510th restaurant. And in October alone, you opened 12 new Freddy's in 9 states. So it is, and not only is it no wonder, but congrats that Franchise Times has ranked you the number 97 fastest growing, best ranked restaurant groups out of their top 400. Can you share a little bit more about the growing of Freddy's, and specifically what I love how you frame it, Freddy's Nation? I think Freddy's Nation is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So talk about Freddy's Nation and how, we'll share more about your growing of Freddy's Nation.
Sure. Yeah. So we affectionately refer to our guests that love us the most as Fred heads.
Nice.
And,
I love it. We got Fred heads, we have Fred heads.
Parrot heads.
And the Fred heads make up the Freddy's Nation. But yeah, we've had tremendous growth. We actually opened our 513th restaurant this week, but we did open our 500th on October the 3rd. So tremendous growth, looking to develop another, call it 7 to 10 new units this year, which would put us at about 65 new restaurant openings for 2023. And then in 2024, we expect to beat that, and also in 25. So tremendous backlog, which is really driven by Freddy's has amazing franchise partners that are aggressive and have really mastered the art of opening restaurants with a strong return on investment and building out a portfolio of units that generate nice cash flows and returns for them. So the secret sauce is that we just have great franchisees that are smart and do a wonderful job.
And you got a good product, man, with a good brand.
Yeah, heck yeah. Our burgers are made fresh, made to order. Custard is churned fresh daily in our restaurants. And, we're fast for a made to order product. You can get a burger and fries and a soda within 5 minutes at Freddy's, and it's all made fresh. So you're not dealing with anything that's been sitting in a warming unit or under a heat lamp, and our guests love that. I think also our hospitality, you will be treated well at Freddy's. We are a friendly group, and we're glad that you're taking time to be a part of our day, and we're just trying to create a special moment for you.
Yeah,
so,
I just like saying Freddy's.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, Freddy's is a happy name.
It's a very fun name.
And
Freddy's Nation rocks.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
And Fred heads, let's talk tech. Okay. I mean, you've been in the business for a while. I mean, a lot of restaurant operators like ourselves, I mean, yes, I said I would never switch my point of sale. But going back to it, at the end of the day, the point of sale is like the heart of a lot of restaurants today. I mean, it's been the heart for years. It's been our single most important piece of technology that we've ever had. We never had a lot of technology. Over at Freddy's, what are you guys doing in your tech stack? What does it look like? What are you most excited about? What are you adding to it? Talk about your technology stack and how important it is.
Yeah. So, I would agree with you. I think that the POS is the foundation of your technology as it relates to your restaurant and your ability to communicate with your POS and glean great data and see it and organize it. And I think that's all, super important. And, at Freddy's, we're quite technical. Like we like technology and really where we're using some new interesting tech is in our kitchen. So we have moved away from your standard ticketing screens that you would read an order off of and moved to a pictogram product that's called Perfect Co. And so what we've done,
I've seen that company. I love it. It's got the pictures.
It's great. And for us, you eliminate words and you replace them with pictures. And so
pictures tells, Jimmy, 1,000 words.
Picture tells 1,000 words.
Isn't that the line?
Yes.
Yeah. Basically, I got that line right, everybody.
You tell me I get a few pictures of my newsletter and I could cut down the top of the fold section.
Yeah, no, but I've seen this perfect. It's like there's the burger and you move it over and the bun and the pickles and you see the whole thing. It's
picture
awesome.
Not only tells 1,000 words, but it saves you 1,000 hours of training staff on how to build product.
Yeah.
You'd lose, there's the language barrier is eliminated because you've got a picture that's showing you how to make the build. And also a piece of technology that we moved to on our grill is a press that speeds up our cook of our burgers and creates a more consistent burger, and they're faster. And so if you speed up the one side of the machine, you got to make sure that the other side's fast too. And the Perfect Co has really been a huge asset in speeding up our make times.
That is awesome.
To our listeners, Chris clearly jumped into the importance, and Shat's asked, and Chris was talking about the importance of the tech stack, went right to the back of house. Long-term listeners of the podcast know that, I'm not the golfer of this group. That's Shatsy. I'm good on the 19th hole. But you drive for show and you putt for dough. Okay, the back of the kitchen, the back of the house, the kitchen is where the putting and where all the money is really made and lost. Shat's asked Chris about tech stack. He went right to the back of house, where, again, operators know that's where,
not that sexy, but that's where the money's made.
That's where it really happens. And also, and we're going to move on, but I have to tell you that for all the success Freddy's having, okay, and for all the tech they're leaning into, the things that Chris quickly said was amazing franchise partners, and it's about hospitality. And as much as Brand is obsessed with the tech stack and the importance of tech, this is a tech-enabled business, maybe a tech-supported business, but first and foremost, it's a hospitality business, it's a food and beverage business, it's a people business. We can be tech-enabled, but I never want to lose sight. The tech is a supporting actor. But despite my sharing of that, Chris, for all that you've done, what's next for Freddy's? What's next for Freddy's Nation?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's outside of the tech world, I think you're going to see some broadening of our menu. We have a very narrow menu. We haven't been super proud of our chicken product, and recently we've done a lot of work to improve it. It's quite delicious. And so I think
is that the new fried chicken sandwich?
Yeah, we've got a new grilled and new fried chicken club, which is delicious, and I think you'll see.
Tell me about the chicken club.
Oh, it's good.
Tell me about it.
Oh,
I want to hear about it.
You got bacon.
Shatsy loves a chicken.
Because I love a chicken.
Yeah, it's a great. I like mine grilled, so I go with the grilled chicken
healthier.
club.
Yeah, Jimmy goes
Swiss
fried.
cheese, mayonnaise, lettuce and tomatoes,
fried.
bacon,
Swiss cheese,
mayonnaise,
lettuce, tomato, bacon.
Yep.
What kind of sauce?
Mayonnaise. And then
I got to tell you, man,
we do it on a toasted bun.
A toasted bun, man. Butter on that or no?
It's pretty tasty. No.
I love it.
Yeah, it's good stuff. But I think you'll see some broadening of our menu. We'll bring on some new chicken items. I think we're also going to look at some interesting sides that our guests are telling us that they'd love to have at Freddy's. So I think that's probably out there.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Thank you.
Got to have a good chicken sandwich today. People are bananas for chicken.
Well, Freddy's, we under-index. The brand does only about 6% of its sales in chicken. And that's a tremendous opportunity.
For, man. It's a Steakburger, baby.
It's a burger. But hey, we got to have something for those folks that like a chicken every now and then.
Like it and respect. Listen, Shats and I started the podcast because clearly we like bringing on friends, bringing on guests and chatting a little bit. We learned along the way that sometimes our guests have a question or two for us. So let's kick off talking back. Chris, we're going to give you the microphone. You could ask us a question or two. I like to say nothing's off the table. Chris, the microphone is yours.
Oh, wow. You just turn the table.
Turning the table.
Yeah.
Pressure.
I'm thinking.
Pressure.
Why don't you wait till I ask the question, then think?
well,
Let him
I'll
ask the
say,
question first.
I should wait.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll ask you, Shatsy. So what's when you look at the industry today, what's something out there that you find terrifically exciting? What's exciting?
Oh, I think that's a great question.
I think I know what he's going to say.
You do?
I do.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's play this. Hold on.
Yeah, I think some of the most exciting.
No, that wasn't it.
No,
Sorry.
no. I think some of the most exciting things that we're seeing right now, it really is automation, and I'm excited to see how automation continues to play out in an industry that I would say the dishwasher was probably our most automated thing we've had, right?
Yep.
So I think as you hear about the Flippy and the Chippy, and you see robots, doing bussing tables and this and that. I'm very excited to see how this automation continues to evolve and plays out in the restaurant space as labor continues to be a factor. It always has been. It's incredible seeing some of these robotics and the people who create them and come up with these ideas. It's really incredible.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing which ones work best, which ones get embraced. Do you have to rebuild your store? Can they be deployed in existing stores, or does Freddy's have to build all new stores to have these robotics?
Sure.
That'd be expensive CapEx.
Yeah.
I want a new oven. You got to build a whole new store.
Yeah, and then is it the expense that bringing down the cost of these things? So that's where I'm most interested in seeing, and it's in the really early innings.
Yeah. Well, all right. So now I'll flip the script on Jimmy over here. So with that said,
yes,
as the finance guy, how do you measure technology and the savings that you might see on paper versus interfering with the guest's experience in your establishment?
Yeah, no, fantastic question. And actually, as an operator, you're thinking about it the right way, which is it's always going to have to be how does the tech and any of the innovation impact the guests? Yep. I think a lot of people who are thrusting products and innovation onto this industry are not thinking enough about the relationship that a guest has with their favorite joints. And I think, to me, automation first and foremost is going to start to play in an area that is first of all, the tasks are somewhat less desirable to the staff. Mm-hmm. And then the idea is to elevate and leverage the human capital almost in a role of guest ambassadorship and guest enjoyment. Sure. I think about a kiosk, for example. I have a young daughter. She's never seen a toll booth collector. I don't know if she's going to remember a cashier at a quick serve or fast casual restaurant, because I think we can replace the cashiers with the kiosk, which does a great job with pictures and imagery and kind of bundling solutions. But equally important, let that cashier or the right person become a guest ambassador, standing among those kiosks and interfacing and interacting and ensuring the guest is welcomed and then helping them through it. And a smaller staff could probably cover a large number of people who could use the support. And meanwhile, I think they'd find that to be more hospitable from being welcomed and then brought to the kiosk. So there's an example of, I think the innovation is the kiosk, and then promote that cashier to guest ambassador. Yeah. And really hospitality, greeting and whatnot. I think that's a great combination.
Speaking of toll booths, do you remember a Blazing Saddles? Do you remember that toll booth?
I do.
Someone's going
to go back and S-load of dimes.
Get a shitload. What that asshole think of next? And the Lamar Heady free to tow away in the middle of the desert?
Yes.
And they're all waiting. I can say, I like that, though.
I love that came to your mind.
Yeah. Well, when I see a toll booth there, someone's got to go back and get a shitload of dimes.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, listen. We, Toast Point of Sale just released its Restaurant Trends Report. And I got to tell you, Jimmy, it was full of fun food trivia. Full of fun food trivia. And yes, and we're going to do food service feud right now. I am going to ask Chris and Jimmy, I'm going to ask you a question. First one who gets it, the answer, buzz yes. in, gets to answer the question, all right? This is coming out of Toast's Restaurant Trends Report. So think about restaurant trends. Okay. In which state sells the most amount of alcoholic beverages during lunch service? Is it New York, Wisconsin, Florida, or Nevada?
Buzz,
go. Chris.
New York.
That is incorrect. Wow. Jimmy, you can steal and win a big trip somewhere. Yeah. Very nice.
I got to tell you, I think I'm going to answer it, but first, I think the answer D is like the ruse. That's the ruse, because you think Vegas got to be Nevada. I think it's Wisconsin.
Jimmy, did you look at this?
I swear I did not.
Wisconsin, ding, ding,
Wow.
ding. Jimbo has got the answer.
I'm telling you, they like their beer. Don't get me wrong about Laverne and Shirley. Milwaukee's Wait,
I was just going.
Wisconsin?
I was just going with per
Milwaukee?
capita.
Is that Milwaukee?
I think it is.
Is Milwaukee,
I
Wisconsin?
hope it is. Maybe.
Yeah, Milwaukee,
I got Wisconsin right. I got Wisconsin.
Yeah. Well, on average, alcohol beverages in Q1 2023 made up approximately 30% of items on the average Wisconsin lunch bill, almost twice the national average, which was 16%.
By the way,
Crazy.
I don't want to bash our own state, but I think Chris would have been right, except New York legalized the kind of the marijuana laws because now
No one drinks during it, they just smoke
They're
them.
just they're just smoking them.
I mean, I got to tell you, outside our restaurants in New York City, I mean, the cafes are kind of paring down right now because it's getting a little cold. But man, I mean, the sweet smell of success is all over the streets of New York. I mean, everywhere. I mean, you can just smell that everywhere. It's great. Even walking around Vegas, by the way, I noticed it's just you don't even smell cigarettes anymore.
Nope.
Yeah, you get it.
You just
Get it.
I mean, you're
out there.
sitting outside in New York City. I mean, wow. All right, listen, Jimbo, you did incredible over there. All right, we're going branded quickfire. Chris, I'm going to ask you 5 lightning round questions. This is the branded quickfire Las Vegas edition. Don't think too long. Don't think too hard. Are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go. Room service, toast. Do you get it with crust or no crust?
Crust.
Your favorite Las Vegas casino?
The Bellagio.
If you were to get married or renew your vows at a famous Las Vegas chapel, which celebrity would you choose to officiate?
Donald Trump.
I would like to see that. That would be awesome. You know, they definitely have a Donald Trump guy marrying people.
Definitely have.
100%.
Definitely out.
Favorite Las Vegas movie? Is it The Hangover, Casino, Fear and Loathing, Vegas Vacation?
Vegas Vacation.
Boom.
Boom. If they were to remake Ocean's 11, great movie, Ocean's 11, I'm sure you know. George Clooney, right?
Yep.
And you were cast as George Clooney. Who are you choosing as your Brad Pitt to pull off this incredible heist? I don't know what casino they pulled up, but I mean, it was a crazy heist. You're going to ask Jimmy to go into this Ocean's 11 thing with you or Shatsy? Who are you going to ask to be your Brad Pitt, your George Clooney? Is it Shatsy?
I'm going Jimmy.
I got to agree with that one.
Jimmy's
So when the
got-
police are chasing Jimmy, you think, because you know
Jimmy's
they're
kind
going
of
to
got
catch
more
him.
of this like mafioso kind of thing going on. I feel like
I agree with Chris on the shots. I think you'd be
Of course you
distracted.
agree with Chris.
Well, I just in this, and I don't always look. I don't always think that I'm the right one to choose to be the partner. But in this case, I think you'd be so distracted and your ADD. You'd be like, "What? I was supposed to be where? When?"
Chris, where the fuck are you?
Hey.
We're robbing the casino right now.
And,
oh shit! I'm by the pool. I didn't remember.
Clean it up, potty mouth. Clean it up. We got a kid show here.
As a restaurant CEO, you got to know that I'm going to go with my finance guy as my right hand guy all the time.
That is true. We are at Jimmy's show. It is the restaurant
the money
finance
show.
That's right.
All right, listen. I know you got to go open up a whole bunch more Freddy's. This was really fantastic. Love having you on the podcast. And I'm disappointed I picked on Jimmy, though. I got to tell you, I do great in the heists.
I'm sure you
and
do
I can
well.
wear like a black hat. And
Yeah, I think actually the two of y'all would do better with me and
There we go.
Me and the next.
There we go.
Three?
The little trio.
Ocean's 3.
All right.
All right, man. This was
Thanks,
great.
Chris.
Thanks,
Thank you
man.
so
Appreciate you. If there's one constant in the restaurant industry, it's change. Whether you're a growing brand trying to build cutting-edge experiences for your guests or a national leader with thousands and thousands of stores looking to update your tech stack, well, Toast brings together proven technology, expertise, and innovations you need to drive change and spark growth. That's right. Drive change and spark growth. From front of house to back of the house and everything in between. Corporate teams, franchisees, enterprise brands, mom pops, SMBs, you name it, everyone is loving Toast. With over 100,000 operators using Toast, you know it's the best POS out there. And many more trust Toast to help them stay ahead of the curve and thrive in this changing restaurant world that we love. To learn more about Toast, go to toasttab.com. That's toasttab.com. And I got to tell you, you're going to love it. Mention Shatsy, and I think they're going to give you some crazy discount. Jimbo, I got to tell you, Freddy's is doing some amazing things out there. I mean, 10,000 stores in 3 years? Who is this guy? Nobody opens stores like this guy.
No one opens. Let's go with that. 10,000, sure.
Chicken sandwich is now 80% of the menu. Chicken sandwiches?
Leave the numbers to me, Shatsy, please.
Oh, I got to tell you. Well, that was a Freddy's is amazing. I'm loving it. I can't wait till they come to New York City because I love the shakes. The shakes are awesome. I got to tell you, Jimmy, we got another amazing guest. You know, when I was in London a couple years back at one of those city events, I met the next guest. And we had a great time. I don't think he had a great time, but I had a great time meeting. We went out and had a couple great meals. I think you sat at a restaurant, waited for me about 4 hours, but we had a great time, great steak. And I think what's really super exciting is we've got Chris Wren here. Chris is the Vice President, Head of International Development for Dairy Queen. Now, for all of you listeners out there, know Jimmy Frischling, Camp Brent Lake, very special. Anytime Jimmy did something nice, like if he scored a goal, he made his bed in the bunk, they took him out to Dairy Queen, right?
It wasn't a Jimmy Frischling thing. It was if your team had a win, the winning team celebrated at Dairy Queen, or as I affectionately call it, DQ. DQ. And by the way, Jimmy's we got a special thing happening here in a little bit. Before we get to it, I want to talk a little about our guest, Chris Wren. We're going to go back a little bit in time.
Okay.
We want to know how Chris became Chris Wren. It's Western University, political science, history. He says, I want to be something, maybe a politician, maybe a historian. I don't know. But certainly did not want to get into restaurants. He gets an MBA from SMU. Great school. MBA.
Methodist University, absolutely.
Yes.
And he's working for Pizza Hut. And there at Pizza Hut, he gets the bug. He says, you know what? I don't like politics. I don't like history. He said, I want to go and work in pizza, somehow touch pizza. He goes to Yum Brands, Pizza Hut France, Dine Brands, Citibank restaurant franchising. I don't even know what that means, but it's on my script. And then he goes to Wingstop. At Wingstop, he opens up hundreds and hundreds of stores all over the world. And now he's at Dairy Queen, and he's a guest on the Hangout. Chris, tell us everything.
What a pleasure to be here. Well,
That's a lot.
Look, so it's good to be with the fun kids, which is not difficult to be the fun kids at a restaurant finance and development conference. Let's be clear when you're surrounded by a bunch of bankers. But it's always fun. So yeah, look, hey, the first job I ever had was working at a Wendy's when I was 16 in London, Ontario, where I grew up, and it was the hardest job I've ever had over the course of my life, and that's some terribly difficult jobs. And I thought I would never work in a restaurant again as long as I lived. Ironically, every job I've had since I got out of school has been working for a restaurant company other than one, about a year in the car wash business. I did my internship at Brinker, and all the people that I was going to school with, they were talking to like insurance firms or talking to airlines or talking to banks. And it just seemed like excruciatingly boring. And then Brinker came in and they were interviewing. And a job came up doing planning and analysis, and it was fun. It was a fun business. At that time, Brinker had like 8 or 9 different concepts, and I just had a blast of a summer. And then after that, I'm like, this is all I want to do. And I went to work for Pizza Hut, PepsiCo at that time when I graduated. And since then, it's been restaurants all day, every day, pretty much. So this is all I want to do. My stint outside of the restaurant business was a massive failure. So I'm not going to do that again. And this is what I'm going to be doing until I check out. So
I think that is awesome. And not unlike yourself, my first job, underage, busboy, barback, waiter, bartender. I left the industry for quite a while. I didn't see a career path for myself. Then to put some capital, I went to Wall Street, put some money into Shatsy's first restaurant, and now I'm back full time. And I got to tell you, it really is just a special industry. Nothing's easy, but the community and the camaraderie, and ultimately the serving of guests and seeing the immediate satisfaction or otherwise. I don't know of a more high-touch business than the hospitality and restaurant business.
No, it's a riot. I mean, the lessons I learned at Wendy's a million years ago still are useful today. You have to have some empathy for the people in the restaurants and how hard they work under tough conditions. And I still think about that all the time. But it's great to be talking to you guys. Yep. I love your podcast. I love your postings on LinkedIn. I mean, you guys will name drop like Thomas Aquinas and Kenny Powers, like in the same, the same posting. So it's always
name dropping.
Yeah, you do. We do.
So listen, this will be embarrassment at my own expense. This is self-effacing.
You're gonna go with Jimbo,
but I'm gonna do a little bit of it. I can't sing, but this is all out of love.
Let's hear the Dairy Queen.
Cheers to Brant Lake Camp. I started there in 1978, camper till 83, counselor to 89. But here we go. Dairy Queen, we love you so. Whether we eat there or it's to go, your brazier burgers are delish. I like them better than a Knish. You are the keeper of my belly. You are an Adirondack deli. My queen, for you, I'd gladly die by jumping off an Eskimo. Dairy Queen, we love you so.
Oh man, I got to tell you,
That was pretty
I
amazing.
mean, we got look, if
There
that's not
are
part,
no dangers on. No,
is there another verse?
Oh, there's another verse.
Oh, there's more.
That's enough. That's enough.
I got to tell you, Chris's head is spinning right now.
my
He's
God.
already talking to the marketing team, and I think this.
well, the
will
legal
be-
team too. There may
And the
be some
legal
IP
team.
infringement going on there as
Yes.
well, right? So
the legal team. Brand Lake's going to get a cease and desist for letting the
Maybe.
kids sing that song.
The
Maybe.
camp's been around for over 100 years. DQ has been in the song contest for as long as there's been a DQ in the Adirondacks. I have to say, I'm not the only Brent Laker that knows every word to that song. We've sung it, we owned it, and DQ is where we celebrated when we got off camp. So there
I
you have
love
it.
it.
But listen, kidding aside, a lot of operations expanding in the U.S. alone is hard enough. But to leave the country and international expansion, that is something that's really left for the pros. So can you share a little bit more, about today and Dairy Queen's international franchising growth and your top markets that you're looking at?
yeah, so the international business for Dairy Queen is actually very, very large. We have over 2,500 restaurants internationally, including over 1,000, more than 1,000, 1,100 or 1,200, I think, in China, 500 in Thailand, over 300 in Mexico, a bunch in Southeast Asia and a few other locations. And then there's still plenty of open development opportunities in Europe and South America and the Middle East and a few other places. I mean, our international business is primarily ice cream as opposed to burgers and fries, although that's an area of opportunity. The ice cream business is a fabulous business. The margins are great. People will seemingly consume an unlimited quantity of ice cream. There's no marginal utility upside on that. Visually, the product is abundant and interesting and colorful. It photographs really well, and there's nobody else doing what Dairy Queen does. And additionally, as you can tell from your song, I mean, we've got so much love for the brand. We've got 70 years of history and mythology and lore in the brand. There's not a lot of brands that have that level of history. And as you pointed out, I am a historian. That was my original educational background before I became an MBA. So there's a lot to work with and a big runway. And we get a lot of people, asking about Dairy Queen and when are we going to get there and how soon are we going to get there and what's it going to look like? And, we've been occupied recently with Asia, but watch out. There's all sorts of other places.
Yeah, where are you going?
soon.
What's on your mind right now when you think about Dairy Queen expansion? What countries are you really excited? I got to get in there and really get it going.
Well, the Gulf, would be a huge area of opportunity. I mean, that's kind of, if you're going to go international, one of the first places that you go. There's a lot of reasons why. It's U.S. dollar denominated for the most part, or the currencies are U.S. pegged. Supply chain's easy because you're shipping containers full of stuff. There's tons of money going into the sector.
Right.
People enjoy eating. They enjoy socializing. They enjoy eating ice cream. So that's a big area of opportunity.
Yeah, I agree.
The United Kingdom and Europe, those are very, 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 very tempting ice cream markets. They do consume a lot of ice cream. There's not a big soft serve provider there, so we're providing something a little bit different. Those are, not the easiest place to do business in some ways, but the UK in particular is a market of interest.
I love it.
Yeah, and then other parts
I
of
love
Asia.
the dip. Is that what's your favorite thing at Dairy?
Well, it's got to be Blizzard, obviously.
The Blizzard?
It's always the Blizzard.
The dip and the chocolate hardens.
It's nice. It's good.
Yeah.
And what about the
Very
swirl?
nice.
It's not the
Blizzard, man. The Blizzard. That's the
I'm not gonna listen. I was a fribble guy,
No.
I was a friendly fribble guy.
Really? Really? We have our friend from DQ here, and you're talking fribbles and friendlies?
Well,
really?
because I went to
I'm a
camp and
little
went to
offended,
friendlies.
shots.
You know?
A little offended by that, but that's
Don't
okay.
be offended. All right, I'll move on. Never again.
No, thank you for having me. You're my friend. You're my friend. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, listen. You know something? I think in the restaurant business, one thing is that as you pointed out, we have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun business. We have a good time, and maybe the finance conference may be a little boring because you got a lot of the bankers. No disrespect to the bankers.
We do love the bankers. The bankers are important. Right?
Not the bankers, we wouldn't have any money without the bankers. But, I always think, I met my wife working at a restaurant, and so many people I know have met their significant other working at a restaurant. I just think of all the funny stories that we have over the years of working in a restaurant. I mean, you've been in the business for a long time. Is there something that stands out, something really funny that happened to you in your travels, in your restaurant world, something that you want to share? If not, it's going to really ruin this entire bit, by the way. If you say no, it's going to ruin this entire bit.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out where to start. Look, I mean, this is a really fun business, and if you're not having fun, you're doing something wrong. You're selling a product that when people eat it, they should be having fun. I mean, you don't see people saying, "I'm eating ice cream. framing? Having a terrible time? Like people,
No,
or I'm
no,
eating
no,
pizza. I'm
no.
having people don't say that.
No,
You know,
definitely not. I don't think people eat and say they have a terrible time.
no. Well, unless you're eating something really horrible,
Yeah,
that
why
would
you
not
eat
be our
that?
product. Well,
Why would you
yeah,
eat that?
yeah. Look, recently I was in Southeast Asia. I was in the Philippines, and it's really touching and amazing. When you go to these markets and these stores, and you meet the crew, and they're working hard, and they're working hard under tough conditions, and in many ways, this business is a ladder to prosperity and success, right? Which is one of the best things about it is just the hierarchy of our business is such as it enables people to be successful and work their way up. But when I was there recently, we visited multiple stores, and in each store, the crew had prepared a proprietary local dance specific to their store to be performed for all of us there. And, our director of operations actually participated. I had no idea, but he's actually a hell of a dancer.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. I got to send you the video later.
I'd love to see the video.
But like that's just one of many, many touching, hilarious, fun stories,
Right.
and moments that you have. I mean, you're seeing people, directly in contact and making people happy. It's just great to be providing a product that brings so much pleasure, affordable pleasure to so many people so often. And that's what ice cream, can do. What can ice cream do? What can ice cream do?
Ice cream makes people happy.
It
That's
does.
for damn sure.
Yeah.
I love it.
I don't think we need beer summits. We need ice cream summits.
Well, there's a lot of
Nice beer summit's not bad.
No, a beer and ice cream.
Beer
I
and
have no
ice
problem with that. A beer blizzard or beer.
I love
yeah.
soft serve. I really do.
I do too. I'm not a big fan of the hard pack. I think that's like a lot of work.
Yeah.
But the soft serve, and it's not something you can have at home for the most part, right? I mean,
Nah, you really
hard pack,
can't.
you can buy a pint of ice cream and you can bring it home. Soft serve, you got to go out for it. It's an event. It's an occasion.
It's a great point. That's you got to go live. Got to be on
I
prem.
remember when I was younger, I would take the hard ice cream and kind of melt it, smush it all around.
I do that
to
now.
Get it.
I put it in the microwave for like 4 seconds. I
Yeah.
got to watch, and sometimes I do 14, and it's like a puddle
just-
of ice
yeah.
cream, and that sucks. But when it's a little bit softer, I like that very much.
Yeah.
That's
I
why
love it.
your mom called you the messy one. Yes.
100%.
Chris, you've had an extraordinary career in international franchising. I think many people only dream of kind of touching those various brands you have. We could dedicate an entire episode, I think, to talking about some of the brands and companies and experiences that you have, and not just have the knowledge you have of these, but given our time frame, can you share maybe one or two of the greatest hits, the greatest lessons you've learned throughout your career? And I think for our listeners, and thankfully a lot of them are operators, I think the international franchising would be really important to them. But the one or two greatest hits from your best album there, Chris.
Like things I've learned on the job.
Things you learned on the job.
Yeah. So look, best case scenario for me, other than being a political scientist historian, was probably like was like screwing hubcaps on a Crown Vic in Talbotville, Ontario. So I'm very grateful for the opportunities that this business has given me over the course of my life. Right. I've traveled the world. I met my wife. I've lived in France. I lived in the United Kingdom. I can only dream of what I've been able to experience and enjoy. So I'm really grateful for that. One thing that comes to mind immediately is how to visit a restaurant. All right. And the power that you can have as like a corporate employee. And I'm not making food and selling it. That's where those are the people that do the real work.
Right.
But the power of the influence and impact you can have visiting a restaurant and recognizing people for what they do at the restaurant. And Yum's particularly good at that. David Novak in terms of recognizing people and providing recognition for it. Mm-hmm. But you can visit and you can have your blue blazer on and you can kind of stand back and not be deeply involved in what's going on. Or you can get right into it. You can get right into the rhythm of it. You can engage directly. You can ask people questions. You can thank them. You can know specific things about them. You can prepare before you get there so you know what's going on at the restaurant and talk about it knowledgeably. And that can have a profound motivational impact on the people who are making the money and doing the real work and interfacing with the customer. So that's something a little bit earlier on in my career I probably would have been a little bit more cynical about. Mm-hmm. But as I've gotten older and you have kids and spend more time in the business, I've gotten a lot more sentimental, idealistic.
Yes,
and
you're
recognize
wiser.
the power.
You're wiser.
Very much wiser. Yeah,
Smarter,
absolutely.
and you're better looking.
Knowledge is cumulative.
It is cumulative in this business in particular.
Yes.
And a lot of it, there's a lot of great innovation, and I know you guys are invested in that, involved in that, but there's a lot of stuff that, it's the second cycle, third cycle, fourth cycle, and having seen it before, you can, have an outsized impact just having been through a couple of cycles of the business. And, we're in a complicated part of the cycle right now.
Yeah, no, you're 100% correct. I love it.
Another element, I guess, learning on the job, which I guess ties into number one, is to know your history, right? I've jumped around to a number of different companies, but the first thing that I try to do whenever I get there is to learn what happened before, right? Because I don't want to be the person that comes in and it's like, do this, do this, do this. And everybody's quietly thinking, well, we did that before. We did
What
that
is this
before.
idiot doing?
What is wrong with this guy? Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Didn't he do any homework?
Yeah. And I've worked for great brands like Dairy Queen, like IHOP, like Applebee's, like KFC, like Taco Bell. Those brands did not appear overnight.
Yep.
Right. That's the cumulative result of the efforts of thousands of people over a long period of time.
A lot of mistakes too, I'm sure.
A lot of horrible mistakes
Yeah.
made over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. You know, you hear so much they change the C-suite and the guy goes in there gangbusters and starts ripping everything apart. And he didn't really talk to the people that have been there and really understand things a little bit. And, oh, you tried that. Okay, maybe just tried a different way or something like that.
You know, we've done a lot of. We've had the privilege and so fortunate that we've done quite a few podcasts. And I'd say, first of all, it amazes me the consistency of the executives we have as our guests. I think almost every single one of them, first of all, cut their teeth as an hourly worker on the floor. As you did. I'll also say, like so many others who are in this industry, you always focus on the people.
Yeah.
And you talk about the lesson learned is how do you approach. Mm-hmm. And I think, guests, you don't have to be in this industry to approach these restaurants or enter a restaurant. While Chris was doing it as a member of the corporate team, as a guest, you can improve your own experience and how you approach the restaurant, how you engage. Think of it as an experience you're going to have together with the staff as opposed to them serving you. Think about the experience you're about to have together. And I think you're going to find a truly better experience if you do it that way. Yes, I'm speaking on behalf of the restaurateurs and the staff, but I have to tell you, it'll give you a better experience. There's my PSA, my public service announcement.
I loved it, Jimmy, and I got to tell you, you're bringing a little tear to my eye.
Tear there.
We're going to jump right into the food service feud, Jimmy.
Food service feud.
In a matter of time, we don't have a lot of it because Dairy Queens need to be opened in the GCC. The Gulf region is yearning, I say, for Dairy Queen, and Chris has to get there.
Yeah, the Dairy Queen truck is the engine's running out back.
Running out back. All right, here we go. Food service feud. Yeah. Here we go. Basically, Toast just released their Q2 Restaurant Trends Report. Huge report, 10,000 pages of great information, a lot of fun food trivia. All right? So I'm going to ask you guys a question. And I want you to get your fake buzzers or your make-believe buzzers.
Yep.
And you're going to hit first. Whoever buzzes in first gets to answer. And there's a fabulous prizes somewhere over there.
Excellent.
Okay, here we go. When it comes to tipping, which state in the U.S. has the most generous tippers? Is it New York, Delaware, Tennessee, or Nevada? Go.
Nevada.
Chris says Nevada.
Came in fast and hot.
Jimmy came in fast. He's wrong. Jimmy, you can steal and win fabulous prizes for the entire Frischling family.
Yeah, I'm going with I'm going with my answer, and I think you're going to tell me I'm wrong.
I want you to go with your answer.
New York, baby, New York.
Went with New York. And I'm sorry, everybody. We have two losers today on the food service feud. The correct answer is obviously Delaware. I don't know why it's obvious. But Delaware, when it comes to tipping, Delaware has the most generous tippers in the U.S. That average tip size of 21.5%.
By the way, way to go, Delaware. I got to tell you, Delaware.
I never would have thought Delaware. I never would have thought Delaware.
I wouldn't have thunk it.
I really got to tell you. All right, listen. Branded Quickfire, Las Vegas edition, live from the Toast Studios in fabulous Las Vegas. Here we are. Here we go. Branded Quickfire. Chris, are you ready?
I am ready.
5 lightning round questions.
Oh, okay.
Room service toast, crust or no crust?
Crust.
Favorite Las Vegas casino, sir?
Cosmopolitan.
If you were to get married or renew your vows at a famous Las Vegas chapel with a celebrity, which celebrity would you choose to officiate?
Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, good answer.
Interesting.
Solid
Jimi
answer.
Hendrix.
They got to have one of those here. They got to have a Jimi Hendrix impersonator.
Favorite Las Vegas movie? Is it The Hangover? Is it Casino, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, or Vegas Vacation?
That isn't even a choice. It's Casino.
Boom.
Like, I don't even know what to say to that.
Casino.
That's the only option.
Yes.
Yeah,
I agree.
All right, here we go. This is where things get a little dicey. Remember Ocean's 11?
Do I?
George Clooney, handsome devil. If we were to remake Ocean's 11, and you were cast as Clooney, you're Clooney.
Yeah.
Okay, and now you got to pick who's going to play Brad Pitt. Who's going to be your Brad Pitt? Is it Jimmy to pull off this big crazy heist? Jimmy or Shatsy?
Well, I would actually pick my boss, Nicholas Boudet, would be who I would pick is the obvious choice to be the Brad Pitt character.
So it's none of us.
None of the above. Yeah,
None of the above.
Nicholas,
All right, well, I got to tell you. I mean, I guess he took one look at us. He's like, I got to tell you, neither one of you guys even resemble.
I got to bring in the money player. I'm bringing in Nicholas.
I mean, I mean, I got to tell you.
I just don't want to start a feud between the two of you guys because I know how much you value my opinion. If I pick one, but if I pick Nicholas, it's you know.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, Jimmy, you want to sing one more verse of the Dairy Queen song?
No, we're good. But I'm going to do a whole video and send it to Chris and his team, and then they can take litigation action against my
Your beloved camp.
We will redact it appropriately. How about that? Yeah.
Listen, Chris, super excited that you're Dairy Queen. Love it, and can't wait for you to come to New York City and break some bread, man.
No, it's time to get out to New York. But I love what you guys
already.
do. It's always great to see you and everybody, all your friends here at RFDC. All kidding aside, it's a wonderful event. You get to see everybody you've ever met ever. It's just a real pleasure, and it's so good to be back live and in person. You know, after so many years of nonsense, and this year has just been nuts. So, thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, this was awesome, man.
Okay.
Thank you, Chris Wren, sir.
Thank you,
Gentlemen. Thank you.
If there's one constant in the restaurant industry, it's change. Whether you're a growing brand trying to build cutting-edge experiences for your guests or a national leader with thousands and thousands of stores looking to update your tech stack, well, Toast brings together proven technology, expertise, and innovations you need to drive change and spark growth. That's right, drive change and spark growth. From front of house to back of the house and everything in between, corporate teams, franchisees, enterprise brands, mom pops, SMBs, you name it, everyone is loving Toast. With over 100,000 operators using Toast, you know it's the best POS out there. And many more trust Toast to help them stay ahead of the curve and thrive in this changing restaurant world that we love. To learn more about Toast, go to toasttab.com. That's toasttab.com. And I got to tell you, you're going to love it. Mention Shatsy, and I think they're going to give you some crazy discount.